In this video today, I'm gonna show you exactly how you can literally double your show up rate overnight, okay? I'm gonna go over kind of some of the mistakes I made and how we lost $4 million in no-shows, how we fixed it, and how you can prevent yourself from making that mistake. And so whether you're a sales rep, you're a manager, you're a CEO of your business, in today's video, I'm gonna show you exactly how you can fix that. Okay, so the first way to double your show up rate, okay, and this is gonna sound very basic and stupid, but it's fucking true, is talk to more people, okay? Now, what I'm gonna cover with you guys today is a little bit more in depth of the frequency of how you should communicate with them, what platforms you should be using to communicate with your prospects. However, talk to more people is how you increase your show up rate. If you have a show up rate right now of 30% or 40% or 50%, a big reason why your show up rate is not there is because you aren't talking enough to people. So I'm gonna give you a bit of an example of like the $4 million mistake I made when I was trying to increase your show up rate. I'll walk you through why I made it, why I thought it was productive in the moment, and then I'll also explain to you kind of the differences, okay? So I'll explain to you how our funnel used to work. Our funnel back in the day, to give you guys context, was this. It was an SLO, which for those of you who don't know, it's pretty much like a low ticket offer, okay? So it's $27. After that, they booked in what we called an IMP, right? But look at it as like a triage. And then from triage, it was to sales call. Now, we had about, on average, a 60% pass-through rate from $27 buy-ins to a triage, okay? Now, obviously, after the 40% of people who didn't book, we used to outbound them. 60% showed up to the IMP call. IMP to sales call, you're looking at about a 50% show up rate. So if you do the math on this, we were spending, I think, give or take, it was close to $1 million a month in ads, right? So you're looking at 1 million, and we generated about 5,000 buyer leads. Okay, so 5,000 people purchased the $27 offer. Now here's the problem. 50% of all of our clients never spoke to us, never bought from us, only did the $97 or $27 offer. And so if you put this into perspective, let's say my cost per acquisition is, the cost to acquire this $27 customer was about $100, but the cost to acquire a booked appointment was $200. Now, because it was a $200 cost to acquire a booked appointment, if you bill that up over scale, right, which you do that times however many clients we were selling, plus all the closers we had on our team, that's a big fucking problem. Because that means on average, if I have closer Bob was only talking to people half the day. So he really only worked a part-time job if he was working 8 hours a day. And so we lost probably 4 to 5 million in a single year just on no-shows alone. I had about an 85% show up rate with my setter at the time. And so there are a few fundamental things we implemented that made a big difference on the call itself, on the setting call or on the outbound call, but then also leading up to the sales call. And so that's what I'm gonna break down. For most of you, whether you're running a VSL funnel, whether you're running a setter model, one thing you should always have, it doesn't matter if you do DMs, if you do triages, if you do SLO, it doesn't matter what type of marketing you do, you need to have a setter, okay? So an SDR. An SDR needs to be calling every booked appointment. So every booked appointment you have on your diary, whether you are the salesperson or you have a CEO or you're running a company, every booked appointment needs to be called. So that means if you have closers, and let's say you have 5 salespeople, okay, and they're all booked up nonstop every day, every appointment needs to be called and confirmed. Not only called and confirmed, but they need to be qualified. When you guys are creating a sales process and you guys are looking to increase your show up rate, people show up because they want to show up, not because they have to show up. And so if you confirm too much, you're gonna piss people off and you're gonna ruin brand equity. But if you don't confirm enough, then you're gonna deal with a high no-show ratio. Here's another key thing I learned, and if you follow this, this will probably get rid of a lot of the no-shows you have, and it's this. Stick to one platform. And this is what that means. If I have a prospect that, let's say I'm communicating via text, okay? I'm texting them back and forth, confirming the appointment, whether I'm a setter or a closer. I don't then take them from text to email. I don't then take them from email to text. I keep majority of the communication, 80% of the communication via text, and then maybe I send them an email with the Zoom link to the calendar, let's say if I do Zoom calls. So my confirmation process with my setter was this. 80% of all of our leads were confirmed via text, right? So all communication was done through one source. It wasn't email and text, because then what I'm doing to a consumer is I'm getting them to switch. And if they switch, they're just gonna get pissed off because it's too much redirection for somebody. So if you do Instagram ads, for example, and that's how you're doing it, and that's where all your leads coming through, which is probably not a good thing, but let's pretend Instagram ads is how you generate most of your appointments right now. You should be confirming them through Instagram, not through text, for example. Most of my leads came in through text, right? So they purchased something, they booked a call, that's why you would text them and we had automated text that would go out. So my setter, 80% of all communication was done via text, okay? 20% was done via email. And the only thing we sent via email was the Zoom link. Every time I had a booked appointment, right, and any company I've ever trained or done stuff with, every time there's a booked appointment, the setter calls up. And it's not a setting call in terms of they're not asking a shit ton of questions, it's a customer service call. So it's probably something like this, the way I train my setter to do it, which is, hey, what's up, man? It seems like you booked in a call on Yash's diary about kind of getting some help with X, Y, and Z. I just wanted to make sure, are you still good for Thursday at 5 p.m.? Okay, easy, man, no dramas. Do you have the Zoom link, by the way? I know there's sometimes people don't see it. Do you have the Zoom link for the call? You do, okay, great. And tell me a bit about you, man. Like, what was it you were kind of wanting help with in regards to X, just so I can let Yash know beforehand. And so going into that call for me as a salesperson, I have all the notes. I have a decent idea of where that prospect is at, which internally gives me a lot more confidence to be like, I'm ready to speak to this person. As a closer, if I can have notes, which is kind of like ammo going into the sales call, I'm a lot more confident I'm gonna close it versus if I'm not. That's another key thing. Whenever your setters leave notes for closers, make sure they're positive notes. If the notes your setters leave to closers are negative, then your closer probably is not going to want to take that call. They'll either reschedule it, cancel it, or they'll just finish it up in 5 minutes. Having a setter that calls up every lead and treats it like a customer service call, those are 4-minute calls. Those aren't 10-minute calls or 15-minute calls. You're not hard qualified. It's simply, hey man, what's up? Looks like you booked in. What's your goal, man? What are you trying to accomplish? What do you need help with? Okay, easy, man. What I'm going to do before your call with Yash is I'm going to send you an interview of another one of our clients named X. He was kind of struggling with X, Y, and Z. I want you to go through that interview before with Yash. That way you're able to ask him any questions you have leading up to the appointment when you speak to him. That was it. That was it. That alone got an 85% show up rate, plus the close rate was about 55, 60%. But the reason that was all able to happen was there was a lot of communication, and like any platform we confirmed off of, we only confirmed off of that main platform. A lot of people, when it comes to their show up rate, they're so all over the place. 90% of people don't do it, including closers or CEOs. 90% of you do not confirm your fucking appointments, but you want them to show up, whether it's organic or paid. And then if you do a confirmation, you have no psychology around it. There's no thought process. There's no, like, what do I need to send to this person beforehand to get them to show up? And if you are doing that, then the issue is you're switching them across many different platforms. So you have emails that go out to confirm them, and then you're trying to get them to your YouTube channel, you're trying to get them to your Instagram channel, then you're trying to get them to Twitter. You're trying all these different things rather than focusing on a key thing. And so I'll give you guys kind of the simple formula that I like to follow that I think works well, okay? Out of all the platforms out there on social media, right? YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, everything. The best platform in terms of quality-wise, in terms of leads, is gonna be YouTube. If I can get more people on my YouTube channel, I'm probably gonna convert higher. YouTube conversion ratio is by far way better than any other social media platform, okay? YouTube is a quality platform. And so if all I did was get people, let's say I'm sending a testimonial or a video before the sales call, right? I'm the setter, I'm calling them up to confirm for Bob. If all I did was send them an interview, a VSL, whatever it is, but I made it unlisted and I put it on YouTube and I got them to go through my YouTube content, chances are leading up to the sales call, they're gonna be a lot more nurtured. Plus, then YouTube's gonna do its job of retargeting that consumer with more of my YouTube content or the influencer's YouTube content. So the simple way you can really 2x your things is, number one, is communicate more. Communicate more with your prospects. Don't fucking overdo it where you're calling them every 5 minutes, you're texting them nonstop, okay? Confirm with them more in the standpoint of you actually have a confirmation process. And here's the thing, if you don't have a setter, let's say you're a sales guy and you don't have a setter working underneath you, hire a fucking VA. You can hire a VA at $5 an hour that can do this for you. You have to kind of explain them how to make those customer service calls, but like generally you can still do it. You communicate more with them. You stick to one platform, whether it's text or email, you stick to one thing. And the third thing I'll add is, like, on the day of the appointment, let's say I've got a call today, let's say it's Monday today and the call is booked on Wednesday, just as an example. You don't want to book out 48 hours in advance. This is another key thing. If you are booking your calls 48 hours in advance, they're probably going to no-show. Anything more than 48 hours, you just need to hire a bigger team, right? So if you're getting booked out like 4 or 5 days in advance, you need to hire more salespeople because chances are you don't have enough salespeople on your offer. Now, the last thing I'll add is, like, whenever you guys have an appointment, let's say today's Monday, it's booked for Wednesday. On Wednesday, the setter should again call the prospect and say, hey man, hope you're doing well. I left some notes for Yash, just so you know. Did you get a chance to go through that interview or that video I sent to you beforehand? You did. Okay, amazing, man. By the way, just wanted to confirm, because Yash was having a Zoom link issue earlier today. I'm gonna just email you the link. Can you make sure you get that? And then the setter sends the email right there on that call itself with the Zoom link. So there's airtight communication nonstop throughout the whole sales process, and there's no way for them not to show up because you're doing it just enough where you're not annoying them, but you're doing it at the perfect amount. Okay, so 4 principles just to recap. Number 1, confirmations. Speak to more people. Talk to the people that have already booked in with you. Number 2, stick to one platform. If you're gonna communicate just via email, then just communicate via email 80% of the time. Don't switch from email to text nonstop. Stick to one thing. Number 3, on the day of the appointment, setters need to be calling up the people the day they book in. So as soon as they book in, a setter should call up to qualify and to have like a mini discovery call that's 5 minutes, like a customer service call. The day of the appointment, the setter needs to call them up to make sure they're taken care of. Fourth thing, when you guys are sending pre-call confirmation resources, testimonials, VSLs, whatever it might be, you need to make sure you direct them to YouTube, right? Whether it's a 10-minute video, a 30-minute interview, regardless of what the content is, make sure it's good content, make it an unlisted video on YouTube. That way your prospect is able to consume that. So leading up to the sales call, their chances of buying are probably gonna be a lot higher. That's how you can 2x your show up rate overnight. Now, if you're a CEO, you run a business, or even you're a sales guy and you want to see the exact same process I use to get an 85% show up rate and collect and make $1 million in straight commission selling as a sales rep, down below there's gonna be a link. You can request to get the free PDF. I have a PDF version of me and my setter and our entire confirmation process back to front, the languaging, the wordings, the testimonials, everything laid out of exactly how we did it. Use that, customize it, comment down below, and we'll send you that free PDF.